Suprabhat. It's 6 a.m. in the morning here in Italy, and I hope to spell that correctly. We have here Pratham from India. He is a pretty young developer, but he is very knowledgeable, and we'll talk a little bit about his story, CSS. So let's go straight into that. How are you, Pratham?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you for having me here. It's such an honor for me to be a part of this Talking with series. How about you? How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I woke up like one hour ago. Yeah, I did a shower and and I was here for you. So yeah,
Yeah, I know you usually gets up at 5 or 4.
yeah.
Pretty early for me.
Yeah, and usually I take a selfie of myself, but today
Yeah,
I
and
had
put
no
on
time.
Twitter.
Yeah, today I had no time, so sorry for that, for not having me this time. But yeah, you are more important than that. Yes.
Yeah, this talk is more important than
Of,
selfie. Yeah.
no, of course, yeah. So first of all, I'd like to tell you a little bit about you, your study, what we are currently doing, and then we can just chill
Yeah.
out and talk a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so my name is Pratham, as you mentioned. I'm from Delhi, India. I'm final year BTech student. Uh, I love CSS, JavaScript, and React. I love to explore new things in the same technology. I can say that I'm a web technology enthusiastic. Uh, Currently, I'm looking for a decent job because I'm in final year of my college. So I would like to get a good job by the end of 2020. It's a bit odd, but I can say that my favorite language is CSS. I can agree that it's not completely a programming language because we can't do some logical stuff from it. But yeah, CSS is my favorite language, and you know that CSS is very powerful. We can make very good web pages sometimes without using JavaScript. That HTML and CSS are enough. Like so, yeah, my favorite language is CSS, and I want to be a front-end developer. That's about me.
Yeah.
Small intro about me.
Yeah. It's interesting. Your path, I think, it's really interesting. It's not, let's say that it's not a usual one, but sometimes by doing a different thing, if you really like that, if you're not doing that because other people don't do that, but because you like that thing, that could be really a good thing for you. Yeah. So because I think that we need maybe something to different. So by being an expert in a specific field, I think you can solve some problems, some issues that some companies could have. Maybe they have so many other developers on JavaScript, of course, but maybe they have some problem, maybe on some pages they don't know how to solve that. And so, yeah, I think this is your idea. So I think you started from what you like, and then you think that you can solve some problems. Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically it. But I mean to say that I want it can solve a specific problem on a specific web page. So that's what you're asking me, right?
Yes, yeah, on one page or many pages. Yeah. So, yeah, and do you have any projects? Do you use GitHub? I think yes. Do you use? Yeah. So, and do you have something? Yeah, there something.
I would like to tell you my story. Like
Yeah.
back in 2017, when I was first entered in my college lab, in my college computer lab, and I was so afraid because I didn't have any idea about what programming is or what coding is. Like three years ago. So I was so afraid, and suddenly my professor told me that you have to write a C program that add two integers value. And at that point of time, I was like, what? Why I need to write a program that adds only two integers value? It's a silly question, but that question was in my mind at that point of time. So yeah, because I didn't have any idea about how powerful programming or coding is, but now now I have that idea. So yeah, and suddenly my professor told me that write a program in C that add two integers value. So I was too afraid, and to be honest, I didn't able to wrote that code at the end of 2 hours. Like it took me 2 hours, and after taking my 2 hours, I didn't able to write that 4 lines of code, hardly 4 lines of code that had two integers value. So I was completely noob at that point of time, around 3 years ago. It was a so embarrassing moment for me, of course, because all the students around me, they wrote that code in just like 5 or 6 minutes hardly. It took 5 or 6 minutes. Like, why? Adding two integers values, it's completely a beginner level program, right? But I didn't have any idea like 3 years ago. So I started learning Java. For the first language I learned was Java. And then after 2-3 months, I was able to write that some basic programs like star patterns, adding two integers value, Fibonacci series, and programs like that. And I can say that I started learning web development in the beginning of 2019. So it's about 1.5 years ago. And I have been learning it from since then. And it still feels like I know nothing. I'm learning it from 1.5 years and still feels like I'm completely a noob in web development field.
Me too. Me too. So don't worry about that. So that's totally normal. Yeah. Do you have okay? So yeah, and okay. Let's talk about CSS. So why did you fall in love with that? So I'd love to say to nothing to this.
Okay, so I can say that about 4 or 5 months ago, when I was randomly scrolling on Twitter, and I found a Twitter functionality that provides us a topic. So I picked a topic of web development, and then I started interacting with the people's like amazing developers on Twitter, like you and Danny. So I saw some developers that they build CSS art and then they post their work on Twitter. So I found that CSS is so powerful. I didn't know that CSS is so powerful at that point of time. But after that, I saw the tweets of beautiful CSS art. I was like, wow, we can do that also. So I started creating some basic CSS art. I remember that my first CSS art was a rainbow only. That's nothing but a circle, and I posted that on Twitter. And when I when I woke up next day, and it gets like 500 or 600 like, and I was like, wow, that's huge
And
impressions
how?
I get on my
Yeah.
Twitter.
Sorry to ask this, but how big was your account at that point? Because maybe it's
Uh,
important to tell if
yeah,
you remember.
you
You
don't
remember?
believe that I had only 4 followers at that point of time.
Wow.
Yeah, only 4 followers.
Four or 400? Four.
Only four.
Wow.
Around 6 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So
great.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was completely new, and now I have around 14K.
Yeah. Yeah. Notice that. Yeah.
So yeah, I started exploring CSS like around 6 months ago, and then I created some city art, some mountains art, and currently I'm obsessed with Twitter headers, as you already know. You might know, I think.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, CSS is so powerful. Even I can say that sometimes you don't even need JavaScript to make beautiful web pages. Even HTML and CSS are enough. Like
yeah,
some
yeah,
front end, some the website having front end only. You can say that JavaScript is important, like when you have some button functionality or something like this. But CSS is so powerful, I can say.
yeah, yeah. Can I ask you because you mentioned that you have seen other people, but maybe they are watching this video. So I'd like to say for you to say who was inspired by. So some people maybe on Twitter or somewhere else. So so we can give credits to them maybe if you can remember one or two or you that's it.
Okay, I want to give a big shout out to Ref Resenberg. When I had only 4 followers, he promote my account. He shout out for me, and also the Danny Thompson and you as well, the
Oh,
Raveen.
oh wow.
Yeah, you all are really incredible people available on Twitter, right? So I would like to tell that what guys and girls of same age as of mine, what they usually do, they took a selfie of their own and put on Twitter and or other social media platform just to get few likes and comments. But I mean, no offense, this is a valid use of social media. But for me, I think there's a lot of knowledge available on Twitter and Instagram as well. Like we have a developer community on Twitter, so we can fetch a great amount of knowledge from them from there. So that's the correct use of social media, in my opinion. So when I was started using Twitter, I was like, there's a lots of knowledge available on Twitter. So what I did is I grabbed some knowledge from there and put that knowledge into my practice, and I created some projects also. And one day, around 2 months ago, I got a DM from Shruti Balasa. Shruti Balasa is also an India-based developer, and she offered me an intern job as a front-end developer intern post, and it was a paid. So you know what? I grabbed some knowledge from Twitter, and Twitter also gave me some chance that I can put that knowledge into my practice also. So Twitter acts like Twitter is for me is like a LinkedIn for me. So
I think that also Twitter, if used correctly,
yeah,
it can help you to find a job. It's not just
yeah. Actually, I think I can say that I got around two three jobs offer from Twitter also around the globe, not from India, around the globe. Yeah. So Twitter is so powerful. I can say that if individual one use it in a correct way.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of just posting their pictures just to
of
get
course,
some likes and comments.
of course, there's no problem with that, of course.
Yeah,
but
no offense.
yeah, of course. But maybe if you want to, maybe if you struggle and you want to find a job, maybe you can use Twitter to find a job. And if you want to use Twitter to find a job, you need to do a list of things. I think
A whole bunches of knowledgeable developers available on Twitter, I can say, around the globe, not from a specific country.
Yeah.
So Twitter's
There are many.
the developer community is so amazing on Twitter, I can say.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, also because
including you as well.
Yeah, I was saying the same of you. So because and I met so many incredible people on Twitter. Yeah, I always say that I define this year my social year, because before 2020, I was not that really into socials. I considered them just a waste of time. Just wanted to study by myself. I understood that this was wrong. Then I started to use that at the start of January or February, and then all the pandemic situation came. I've been in lockdown like 2 months in my house, so I had a lot of time to to stay on Twitter, and that's it. I saved a lot of commitment, and that's it.
I think it happened with all of us because I created my Twitter account in 2017, and I will start using it in 2020 after 3 years.
I've heard so many stories. I created Twitter in 2013, and I think that I've done like 20 tweets in like 7 years or something like that, in 6 years, something like that.
And I had only, I think, two tweets after 2 years. Like in April 2020, I had 2 tweets and 4 followers.
Yeah, they really love you. But because it's because sometimes there's this misconception that if you have a lot of followers, it means that you are so knowledgeable, but you can be the same person like maybe 3 months before or 3 months after, and you basically are almost the same. Let's say, okay, you can learn something in 2-3 months, but not that much. But instead, if you do the correct things, I think you can get a lot of followers. Of course, there is not really a point just in getting followers with no mind. But if you want to create some community also for you, because I think that by finding some people on Twitter is also it's important for you. You are not there just to watch, to get things. It's also very, very important to start creating content, as you did, for example. I've seen some very good CSS. Congratulations. I think this in person is a bit different at just a comment. So I wanted to see you this, and it's a great community.
As you mentioned that I'm a good CSS writer, but I can say that, to be honest, I have to Google everything. Every time I made some CSS art, I use Google a lot.
But I had a lot of people, and I want to keep saying this, that there's no problem. One time I've seen a comment like, you are a great developer when you don't need to Google anymore, something like that. And it was like, wow, who
Yeah,
gives?
it's impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible. Yeah, yeah. And also, I also think that even if you get to that point, there's no point in doing that. If you are so great that you don't have to Google, maybe you could have used that time to do something else. I think because yeah.
Yeah,
So
because that's the limit of programming, right? But I don't think so. I don't think it's possible because programming is like a whole life. Is you can learn it from in a whole life, right? Like JavaScript, it's just so powerful that 2-3 months are like nothing. I've been learning it from 1 years and I still feel like I know nothing because every time I interact with a new tweet on Twitter, I was like, wow, this concept also exists in JavaScript and I was unaware from it. So yeah, programming is a very vast field.
yeah, it's very vast. There is a place for everyone. Yeah, so yeah, your choice is it's very not so common. So I think that this can lead you to something really interesting, I think, in the future. Yeah,
Sorry?
so no, I mean that your choice could lead you to something really interesting because you are making something not usual.
My choice, like I love CSS.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
your
yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah. That's it.
Uh,
So yeah, I
uh,
don't know. Yeah.
yeah, I think I don't know if I'm good at CSS. Someone gonna give me a job because JavaScript is important. Like I can say that JavaScript is important. Like, but if I'm good at CSS, what I can do, I can make a YouTube videos. I can make a course on it.
Yeah, of
So yeah,
course.
there's the other options of earning, not just a job as a developer, right? So yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, learning never waste. Like if I'm good at CSS, I can prove it by making some courses on online platform, making my own website where I offer some courses. Like so, yeah, learning never waste, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm totally agree with this. Yeah. And what about your future plans? So what do you want to do in the next years? I can say I can ask this to you because you are pretty young. For me,
Yeah,
for example, I'm 37. So what are your a lot of future plans? Do you have future plans?
I usually interact lots of tweets on Twitter that computer science degree is not so important for a developer job, right? But I can say that in India, it's important. No company in India will gonna offer you a job if you don't have a CS degree because it's very important in India, in country like India. So if everything goes as per plan, I'll have my CS degree in August 2021, right? So I want to land up in a dream company, and I would like to say that for me, dream company doesn't meant to be Google or Amazon or big company like this, but a dream company is one for me where I can live a happy life with positive mindset. Even if it's a small startup. If I'm happy, if I can live happy and my mindset is stable, that's a dream job for me. So that's my future plan.
I, I love that. I love that. Yes, yes, yes.
I don't
And
want to land up in a Google or Amazon, but even if I can I can live a happy life in a small startup if the work environment is stable and my colleagues around me are good, they're supportive as well. So that's my future plan, I can say.
yeah,
But
and
CS degree is also important. CS degree is equally important in India, I can say that.
yeah, and I think that with your mindset you can go far because maybe if you don't look for something, that something start looking for you. So if
Oh yeah,
if you find happiness, if you are looking for happiness, I think that you can attract something good. So yeah, instead of pursuing money on something else, I think this is the good way to live. Anyway, it's not just
yeah, I hope so.
yeah, it's not only about job, yeah, but it can be really it can be really can make the difference. Yeah, because
So yeah, yeah, I wish I'll get a good job in my future, and if everything goes as per plan, I wish that it can take my degree by the end of August 2021, so I can find a good job. And I want to be a web developer, starting with front end developer and then full stack.
yeah, Perfect. Yeah, I love that.
That's a
Yeah, and
that's a small future plan for me.
yeah,
Sorted.
yeah. It's not that small, yeah, and I think that also a lot of people, I include myself in that. We underestimate a little bit the CSS. Maybe I am focused on something else. I'm talking about myself, but I see that a lot of developers they act the same. So I am among them. And maybe by starting with something like CSS, you can move to something else. So you can start with JavaScript, but by having a solid CSS
Yeah,
knowledge, you can then move and understand everything else.
yeah. I mean, CSS is so powerful. I did a real world project that was a school based website that I told that Shruti Balasta offered me a job, right? In that position, I had to develop a school based website. It's a school based website, so it's completely front end, no back end, a few back end, but my task was to develop a front end for that website and using HTML, CSS, and jQuery. There's a around 20 to 30 lines of jQuery code, not much. So, and in this website, I wrote around thousands lines of CSS, custom CSS, and I had used uh, Tailwind CSS for that. So CSS is so powerful. Don't underestimate CSS.
Yeah.
Yeah, many websites out there, like my personal portfolio, I created it using CSS only. Like JavaScript is so small there, around 50 to 60 lines of JavaScript code that I use for form submit or button submit, like that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's very good.
So yeah,
Yeah,
CSS is so powerful.
yeah,
And before jumping on to something like JavaScript or JavaScript library or framework, I can say that if you are a beginner, if you are watching this series and you are a beginner, I can say that first learn HTML around 10 to 15 days, because HTML is a very basic language. There's nothing logic in it. So just learn 4 tags, basic tags, and then start learning CSS, and then start learning CSS framework before getting into JavaScript, because you can make many beautiful websites using HTML, CSS, and CSS frameworks. So yeah, CSS is so powerful. Sometimes you don't even need JavaScript, a single line of JavaScript code to make a
yeah,
website.
yeah. And I also think that what you suggested is good because maybe it's good to get started with something that you can see sometimes because I think that some people they give up at the beginning about coding because they don't understand. You have bugs. Okay, yeah, you can have also bugs with CSS. You can have things not properly aligned, but maybe it's a bit more, mm, mm, yeah, fun. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I can say that errors is a necessary part of code. If you're writing code, errors should be there, must be there, because it's a necessary part of code. So even what we can do instead of getting frustrated or quitting the coding, what we can do is to learn. We can explore things. We can copy and paste error to Google and find that what the cause of that error and try to resolve them. So if you are quitting your coding journey just because you are getting lots of error, that's wrong in my opinion, because errors must be there. You have to learn from them and try to resolve them by using your own. And if you're unable to do so, you can raise some questions in a Stack Overflow, and we have a lots of websites out there for raising our issues. Like you can tweet also about your errors, and I'll assure you that someone will definitely want to help you.
perfect. Yeah, yeah. And so please follow Pratham, and yeah, and so and please, can you talk a little bit about how you use socials? Which socials do you use? Where can we find you? Yeah.
So, like, I'm pretty active on Twitter, as you might already know. So, yeah, you can, if you are some problems, you can ping me on Twitter. You can find my Gmail ID on my resume as well. So, ping me there if you're getting some errors. And I would like to, tell you viewers that instead of just scrolling or finding some memes on Twitter or other social media platform, I can assure you that there's a lots of knowledge out there. You can grab some knowledge, like me, like I did around 6 months ago. When I was like you, I was just randomly scrolling on Twitter one day and I found a topic known as web development. I just followed that topic, and after then, real magic begins, because I was like, wow, there's a lots of knowledge on Twitter. I grabbed some knowledge, put that knowledge into my practice. I created some small personal projects also, and believe me or not, Twitter of due to Twitter, I got a internship offer as well. So yeah, social media is so powerful.
Yeah, I think that you have used Twitter in a very good way. Yeah, because yeah, sometimes yeah, I think that there's no problem in just using social media. If you have a job, if you are happy, you can just stay on social media for what you want, and
Yeah,
there's no problem with that. But maybe
yeah,
yeah,
I can say that posting a picture on Twitter isn't a bad use of Twitter or
yeah,
any other social media platform. It's a no offense, it's a completely valid. If you
yeah,
are happy in posting a picture of yours, that's completely okay.
yeah,
But but it's not an effective way of using social media, in my opinion, and personally, in my opinion, right?
yeah.
So I'm not a photogenic. Like in my phone, I have only 4 or 5 photos of me.
You are. Yeah, you look
So
beautiful. I don't know.
as
There's, yeah.
and as you can see that I never changed my Twitter profile pic. I once in a while I changed that, and then you denied that. Please post your real profile picture that complete your.
Yeah, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember this. Because the other
Yeah,
one, I can't really see you. Instead, in this one, I can. Yeah, because in my opinion, I don't know if this was a good yeah, suggestion for you, but yeah, you get quite a lot of followers. So yeah, so maybe
yeah, yeah. Thank you so much.
just a little bit. Yeah, because there are some people out there that they don't use a real profile picture, or maybe you can check them on the other socials. For example, I think about Catalin Pitt. Is not
Yeah,
a real profile picture, but you can find him if you want to see his face. You can. It's not, he doesn't hide. It's just a profile picture to get recognizable easy. Yeah, but for example, in my opinion, it's very hard to follow you if I can't see your profile picture. Even if you are a developer, I can follow you. There are some people that I follow that I don't know their faces, but mm, it's very hard to do that. And maybe we have lost Pratham. Maybe you come back soon. Hi there. But yeah,
yeah,
you disappeared. But could you hear me or not?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can hear you.
yeah. I was saying
So
that.
yeah, I can say that to be honest, I have only one profile picture that I use on Twitter as well, on Gmail as well, on Instagram as well. And
Yeah,
I'm very less active on Instagram and Facebook. And I have only 10 to 20 followers on Instagram. Like, I don't like Instagram, to be honest.
I'll
No
follow.
offense.
I'll follow you. I'll follow you if you want.
Yeah, you follow me.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah. I didn't know
yeah,
that, but
yeah.
because maybe
I know.
you don't post a lot, so I don't know. I just follow with you, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, that's it. So,
No, I know you follow me.
yeah.
I you daily upload a one story on Instagram, right?
Yeah. Yes, since I started to making these videos, that's basically what I do because this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
basically I post stories about what I do. So if I do this kind of videos, I post this kind of videos. I not post something else. Yeah, and I have to admit that I think a lot of people they know my profile picture, the one with sunglasses. You know that. Yeah, and I was like 26 or 27, I think. So it's
With the great smile.
yeah, it's almost 10 years old, but I don't know if maybe I'll change that, but I don't know because people
Yeah, you are
recognize.
pretty similar.
Yeah, okay, yeah, thank you. But people can recognizes me from that picture, so it's also on YouTube. I use the same one, so people they say, okay, he's him, he's Francesco. Yeah, you can follow him or not, but at least you can recognize. So yeah, I think that by using the same profile picture could be a good idea or not. Yes, yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
it's help other people to recognize us in effective way.
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah, thank you for coming. Yeah, it has been really a great way for me to start my day. Yeah, but it's still
Thank you
morning.
so much.
Yeah, but it's still morning there in India, I think. So
Yeah, it's
yeah, you have
11:07 here.
that's not. Yeah, you have a lot of hours. Here is 6:30. So yeah, yeah. So thank you for coming. It's been really
Yeah.
interesting.
Thanks for having me here. Such an honor for me to be a part of your this Talking
Yeah,
with series. Thank you so much. You are incredible.
yeah.
You are awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
no, hope to see you soon. Yeah, and I like that you have watched some of those videos already, because I started like 2 weeks ago, so not that much. And yeah, that's it. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Thank you so much.
Hmm?
Bye.
Yeah.
Have a nice day. Yeah. Have a
Namaste. That's what I know. And we have lost Pratham. Okay.
Namaste.
Are you there? Okay.
Namaste.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye bye. Let's stop.